Okay, just to let you know, I started the recording now, so we're voting to approve the minutes from the November meeting, and I think we are good. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. So the minutes are approved. I know Tracy's coming in here. Thank you, Tracy, for joining us. So we are good to start the meeting. We have one item of old business. It's item 20-347, Math 111. And this does go along with a few other math classes.
You show the agenda
that are under the same stipulations.
Just leave it there.
Okay, could you guys mute your mics unless you're talking? So item 20-347 of old business, and then we are going to also cover item 20-433, Math 111, 20-4, excuse me, let me start this again. 20-347 is Math 111 to be effective spring 2021. 20-433 is Math 111 to be effective summer 2021. Item number 20-434, Math 131 to be effective spring 21. Item 20-435, Math 131 to be effective summer 2021. We will discuss this in a moment, but can I have a motion to approve those? It would be those 4 items.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, I am going to share my screen, and I believe Beth.
Who seconded that? Could you please say your names?
Who seconded that?
The second was Glenn. Oh, I thought it was Glenn.
Michael made a motion and second.
It was me, Susie. Bill Justice.
Thank you.
Okay.
I am sharing my screen, and I'm going to have Beth and Christy talk about their revisions. And just so you know, it's 2 courses. Math 111 is the first course. There is an effective date for spring 2021. The second item is the effective date for summer 2021 with different prereqs. And then we're going to go over Math 131, the same situation. We have an effective date spring 2021 with prereqs, and then an effective date summer 2021 with different prereqs. So I'm going to have Beth or Christy please go. And when you want me to scroll up or down on my screen, please do so. This is item 20-347, Math 111 from old business.
Christy, do you want to start? Do you want me to?
Go ahead, Beth.
So what we have a new course starting in spring of 2021, which is a new Math 110 curriculum, and that was approved in April. And we made the mistake in April of changing the prereq for Math 111 to be effective spring 2021, which was the time that we rolled out the new Math 110 course, which was approved in April, but didn't realize there wouldn't, at that time, we didn't realize there wouldn't be any students to take Math 111 because no one would have taken the new Math 110, if that makes sense. So we needed to change the prereq for Math 111 to be the same as it was for fall 2020. So just to make this clear, we need the prereq for spring 2021 to be the same as the prereq for fall 2020. The only exception is the reading and writing prereq was taken off per the suggestion of the curriculum committee. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? I'd like to address them separately. So this is a vote to approve the prereq being for Math 111 for spring 2021 being the same as it was for fall 2020 minus the reading and writing requirement.
Any questions?
I've got one question. I'm not questioning everything. I know what you're doing. It makes total sense. It just, there's nothing in the rationale stating what you just said.
Okay.
Because in the I know, so I get the change. I had to read it about 5 times, but in the rationale, nothing is signifying the prereq change for the spring from 110 to 08596 or 103. That just needs to be in the rationale. I mean, I understand. I agree with everything you're doing. I understand it, but you just have to put that part in the rationale.
Okay.
So in the
So is
rationale, it says that this course outline supersedes the Math 111 outline that was originally approved in January 2020. So with that sentence, we're trying to come across that we're just going back to the current fall 2020 prerequisites. So are you saying that that sentence is not clear enough, Bill?
Sorry, I had to unmute. So I would have to look at, so if I'm looking at this just at this sheet, I would then have to pull up a couple other curriculum outlines, and I don't know if I know in the past when I've made changes that I've been stressed that everything has to be rationalized in rationale so the reader can read it there, what the changes are, not to refer to old curriculums. That's the only thing I'm saying.
So I don't, does this mean that we can change the rationale, we can put that in there, but does that mean we have to wait until January to vote on it? Or February, I guess it would be?
No. You're verbally stating the rationale now. I think it was a question of why people, didn't vote virtually, probably we needed a more thorough explanation of what was going on.
Okay.
So, if there's any more questions, we could field them now, but I do expect to take a vote once those are clarified. I'm sorry, I have to toggle back and forth between my screen here. Sue, please.
So can I ask about the grade of B or better? Because in your old rec, you've got C or better. Now you're changing it to B or better. And I'm wondering why we're putting that restraint on, because we're supposed to be opening up more doors instead of making it more challenging for students. So that means if I've gotten a C, I have to go back and take other courses as opposed to advancing.
You're looking at 2 different courses though. So what we have in place right now, so if we're looking at the top, and yes, Julianne is highlighting that. The course that so right there, it was Math 110 with a C or better. And that's going to be what the prereq is for the summer. That's what it's going to be. But for this semester, for coming up, spring 2021, we are saying if you want to come from Math 085 and go straight into Math 111, that 111 is like an honors course. In there, we did show proof from 3 other schools that have a similar prereq of requiring an A or a B in a developmental class. To get into Math 111. We do have a path from 085 to, this is a STEM path, to Calc 1, and that path goes from 085 to 110 to currently 114, and then on to the Calc course. So we're really not comparing the same courses. So when you look at the top and you see with a C or better, and you look at the bottom and you see, well, now you're changing it to a B, we're really not, because you're looking at 2 different courses altogether.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
And I'm going to scroll down. I'm not going to move ahead too quickly, but I want to see what we're moving towards. Okay. Is there any more questions on this item, which will be effective 2021? And let me check. Did you want to, Sue, did you have another comment, Sue?
Yeah, was that effective what semester? Spring 2021. And you're using it for one semester?
Correct.
Now, I'm
We're
just going to let
using
you know. So just as an FYI, this has to go to the board. The board is on December 15th. And that doesn't instantaneously change everything out there. So you can't put this in action until it's approved by the board. So from December 15th, by the time it gets rolling through the system here, and we've already opened up registration for these courses, you're going to probably get a window of 3 weeks when this will be actually active for people to see the right way. So I'm just letting you know that your registration is going to be restricted on this because of that.
I understand. We're very upset and bothered by it. That's why we tried to do an emergency vote. We tried to get it in place more quickly, but we understand the process. We respect the process. You know, it is what it is. We were trying, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, Beth, even with that virtual vote we were going to do, it wouldn't have pushed it any sooner than the December 15th board. That was the thing. So, you know, you've got the time to clarify everything here, and the virtual vote would not have made it move through any quicker.
I understand, but it got pulled from the November meeting on the day of the meeting, and that's what caused this.
Okay. Any other questions on this? I think we're going to review the changes for the summer before we vote on this item. So we'll vote on the Math 111, and then we'll move on to the next math class. So this is the Math 111, item 20-433, that requires a second vote. And this is effective summer 2021. I'm sorry. I think I missed somebody else had a question. Tracy?
Yeah, I just wondered about this. If we go through this, then because the 110 is already listed online and in registration, will we be able to send petitions over to Beth or Christy to sign them for students to be able to enroll? Or what are we going to do? I had a student today, I just emailed her and said, you don't have Math 110, so you can't take 111. Will we sign petitions for those kind of students?
We had a meeting with all of the advisors, and so we met with Denise and we met with all the advising. So all of them are completely aware of what is going on. So that is our workaround. So we are confident that the students are meeting with an advisor. And I know, Tracy, you are now a counselor, and I'm sorry we didn't meet with the counselors. I thought that your roles were different and you weren't advising students on what courses to take anymore, and that's my mistake. We would be happy to meet with the counselors as well. I'm sorry I misunderstood the changes in the roles of the counselors and the advisors, but we did meet with Denise and we met with all the advisors, and they are very clear about these prereqs. So students that are meeting with advisors are being advised correctly, as far as we know, and we're pretty sure they are. The students that are self-advising are probably not registering for Math 111 correctly. We have told all of the instructors of Math 110, so everybody that is teaching Math 110 right now do know that they should not be taking Math 111.
Okay, so you didn't really misunderstand the role of counselors in our change. However, we're being used as supplementary during this registration time, at least for this semester. So we are helping with advising drop-ins. So that was why I wondered.
Yeah,
So
and just
would
to
you
be clear,
would,
oh,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that the students do not need a petition as long as an advisor or a counselor is putting them into the class.
Okay.
Can I
Would
say
you
something? can I say something? I totally disagree with this statement. When we get audited, when the new prerequisite does not become official, then it's not valid. Then therefore the petitioner require if we ever get audited by HLC or ICCB.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you were saying, Kevin. What?
The petitions are required because this prereq is not going to be effective, you know, in the right timeline. Then therefore, if we get audited by HLC or ICCB, the petition will come in handy. I am in a position that the petition is required. And also, let me say something about why I pulled this last minute. I think some of these changes will need more discussions. For example, at the time when I pulled this last month during curriculum meeting, I did not have all the information. I did not. This is a correction of the April mistakes. So then, therefore, it was pulled last minute. In fact, a curriculum committee sometimes causes a poll last minute. This is not the first.
I don't know if this is the appropriate forum, but all of the information was given to you in April. The mistake was that we rolled it out too soon.
I was not aware of a mistake from April. It was not there until we had a conversation, Beth.
I do have one question on this Math 111. And I did email you both, Beth and Christy, but I wanted to verbally state that so you can kind of understand where I was coming from. Is there a way, noting that the earliest this will be effective, which would be January, is there a way to get the appropriate students registered with keeping this prereq and not necessarily making this change, and then just moving on to the second? So we would just vote on this one. I don't know the answer to that question because to me this is a bit confusing, but I'm just asking you, is there a way to get the appropriate students in Math 111 keeping this prereq for the 3 weeks in January that it will be, that this prereq would actually come into effect? That was my question.
Julianne, I'm just really afraid of the student that self-advised, because a student that self-advises is going to look at this and they have taken Math 110 and they're going to register for Math 111. And the students that have taken Math 110 and passed 110 that would be registering for Math 111 in the spring 2021 will already have had all the material in Math 111, because so not only is the Math 110 course changing, but the Math 111 course is changing for the summer. So the way this was set up back in April is that there's 2 new courses. There's a Math 110 course and there's a Math 111 course. They couldn't roll out at the same time. That was the mistake Christy and I made, that they could not roll out at the same time, because there wouldn't have been any Math 110 students to take Math 111, okay? So with the prereq staying the way it is, then every student that took 110 this semester is going to think or register, if they're self-advising, they're going to register for Math 111, and then they are wasting 5 credits.
So what you're saying, the Math 110 right now and the Math 111 right now is actually the same course?
That's a good question. No, Math 110 has all of the content that Math 111 has all of the content that Math 110 has. I'll repeat it because I started to say that incorrectly. Math 111 contains all of the content of Math 110, and then it adds trig. So Math 111, just to make it more simple for you, there's a little less overlap, but for the most part, Math 111 is all of Math 110, which is our college algebra, and in addition, all of the trig class, which would be Math 114.
Okay. Well, you two are the experts. So if you're telling the curriculum committee that this is essential for 3 weeks, then that's what we're contemplating then as a committee. So does everybody understand that on the committee, what we're going to be voting on this to be effective for essentially, and I'm guessing 3 weeks, it might be 2. And then the class will then immediately change to the summer prereq, which, as you can see here, what I have highlighted here is what we've copied here now. And then that will change to this summer prereq after the spring semester starts, essentially. After everyone's registered for spring, then for the summer semester, this will be the new prereq. So knowing all of that for item 20-433, which is the summer change, I want to make sure that everybody has this clarified, or if there's any more questions. I'm going to just briefly look over here. I know that Sue did comment something very important in the chat room. I encourage announcements to be made in the current math courses, and that they both Kevin and Sue would still like the petitions to be signed. So does anyone else have questions on this?
This is the summer one, correct?
Okay, so yeah, this is the summer one on the screen right now.
Yeah.
And if anybody needs me to scroll back up to spring, let me know. This would be what we're changing it to in spring.
Okay.
This would be the one effective for 2 or 3 weeks in January. That's what we're considering this old prereq.
Okay. And then the next one is, we were just talking about, is the summer, effective for summer for Math 111.
Effective for summer Math 110 with a C or better.
Okay.
Or placement test.
So for the Math 111 effective summer, the only thing on the rationale, you don't have to put anything about the rhetoric requirement because it's not listed as a previous or new or change, but stress, like what I spoke about earlier, was the rationale for the changes for the math prereq.
Okay. Does everyone understand the rationale at this point, which was being stated verbally? Sue?
I just still see people falling through the cracks. And so what I'm going to strongly encourage is that the faculty that are teaching those courses, they're going to have to make sure that the students have the right prereqs to get into the courses, because I still think we're going to have people falling through the cracks. So you have people in the courses in the wrong, not necessarily qualified to be there.
Sue, this is Christy. I did email all the instructors, so they are emailing their students. We talked about it at our department meeting again to make sure all the full-timers were aware of it. But also, Beth and I are constantly checking the students that are already registering and checking their prerequisites and calling anyone that has the wrong prerequisite to try to fix any students' registration errors. So we are kind of looking at that to make sure we fix it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
And how many sections of Math 111 will be in spring?
Currently, we have 3 sections on the schedule. We have 2 on hold. Am I right, Christy? Off the top
We have 4 on the schedule now, and then we have 2 on hold.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it was doable with people continually checking. Does anyone have more questions on this prior to the vote? Have instructors in Math 085 let the students know, is what Tracy contributed in the chat room.
That's great. We will definitely contact the Math 085 instructors. It only applies to students that have an A or a B, though.
So if they're in Math 110 right now and they want to move on, what class do they register for in the spring?
Well, it depends on whether or not they want to go into Calc 1 or Business Calc. If they want to go into Business Calc, they enroll in Business Calc. If they want to go into Calc 1, Calc 1 and Analytical Geometry, then they would enroll in Math 114.
And do you think the teachers in Math 110 are kind of telling the students that so they know not to get into 111?
Yes, I'm one of the teachers of 110, and so
Okay.
my students for sure know. And Christy's teaching some online sections of 110. Her students know,
Okay.
and we've talked to all the math or communicated this info to all the Math 110 instructors.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions prior to the vote on Math 111? Okay, I'm sorry, you're going to see this screen so I can make sure I can see the hands. We are going to be voting on two items here. Item 20-347, the Math 111 for effective date spring 2021, and item -20-433, Math 111 for effective summer 2021. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Julian, that's with the addition of the rationale, correct?
Susie, do you need the rationale to be sent to you then in written form?
Yes, they could just email me the rationale and I'll add it to the proposal.
Okay. We good, Susie? Any opposed? You can lower your hands, and now I'll give you a moment. And then any opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, those two items have passed. I believe it is a similar situation we have going on with Math. I'm trying to clear up my screen here. With Math 131. We're going to be discussing items 20-434, Math 131, changing the prereq for spring 2021. And then the same thing we're going to be talking about Math 131, item 20-435 for an effective date of summer 2021. So two different prereqs. This item here for Math 131, we're changing the old prereq. This would be the new prereq in spring. And then the second vote will be to change the prereq from spring to a different one in summer. Kevin has a question already, although I think Beth or Christy has discussed this one yet. Go ahead, Kevin.
I want to highlight the fact that we're not only looking at a prerequisite change. In fact, with the new prerequisite, we're actually changing the sequence of the math STEM pathway. I'm sure Beth and Christy will be able to explain.
Okay, thank you. Beth or Christy, please discuss first the change for spring that you want, and then we'll move on to the summer change.
So go ahead, Christy, go ahead.
So a similar thing is happening. The change was already made in April for the new prerequisite for 131. But we do need to keep for spring 2021 the prerequisite for 131 to be the same as what it is in fall 2020, just because we need to stagger the rollout of our new Math 110 course. So that's one thing. And then the other, I'll just stop there because that's what we're discussing for
Right.
spring.
Yes. Any more questions on this change for spring? I noticed you did add one new course here.
The only reason it looks like we're adding one course is because you're looking at the changes that will be coming forward in spring. So if you compare fall 2020, what you have on the bottom bolded in green is the same as fall 2020, is what we want to keep it to for spring.
Okay, so this is what it currently is in this fall.
Correct. So it's not technically being added in because that's what it currently is in fall.
And this is, Susie, correct me if I'm wrong, we did vote on this one in November. We voted on this class in November, am I correct?
It has to revert back again. 'Cause
Okay.
we did vote on it in November.
And this was what we changed it to in November? What I have highlighted?
Let me
Or
double
Beth,
check.
do you know? Beth or Crystal, do you know?
I think
No,
it was,
couldn't have been what
it
we
was,
voted for. It couldn't have been
I
because
think-
we took the reading and writing off.
right, yeah. The reading and writing was supposed to be taken off.
Okay. So this
Yes.
was removed. This was what was removed in fall. Excuse me, in
Yes.
November.
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Correct.
So what I have stricken in the text is what was removed in November.
Right.
Okay. All right. Any questions on this, or we will move on to the summer changes? Denise?
I know I've talked to both Beth and Christy at length about this. I just want to make sure that what we're voting on is just because the language that is currently listed in Web Advisor when students are registering is not aligned with the actual prereq. So we're just saying this needs to be changed for spring to align with what the prereqs are, and then it's supposed to change again for summer. Is that correct? Because that's when the Math 131 new prereqs will take place.
That is correct.
Okay.
And I'm scrolling up here to the summer changes, which my assumption is what I have highlighted up here, which will be effective for about 2 to 3 weeks in January, is what is transposed as an old prereq down here before we make the changes for summer. So summer, this would be the new prereqs.
Yeah, and we changed that one, the summer one, because you already voted on it. We changed that because Math 110 is a prereq for 111, so it was redundant to say that a student had to take Math 110 and 111. So we took that Math
Okay.
110 out.
Okay. Okay. Denise, did you have another kind of question?
Yes. I just want to check because I know you referenced it's 2 to 3 weeks in January. Is it a reason why the change has to wait until then? As I know with registration, students are having barriers because of the way that it's set up currently now. So is it that the change to this won't happen until January?
Right, because it has to go to the board, which is December 15th. So that's the primary reason it wouldn't be effective. And we don't know if, once the board passes it, if that's going to take a couple more days because most of the employees are gone from campus pretty much right after that board meeting. So that we're
Okay, so
assuming
basically we'll still have to be providing overrides for students to be enrolled that meet it. Okay. I just want to put out there that any student that tries to register on their own, they won't be able to get in. So they will have to work with someone to get in.
And I think
Which I
Kevin
understand. I
said
just
that we need a petition.
We need a what?
petition. Yeah, they're saying you need a petition. I think if Beth and Christy make sure everyone who's in one of these prereq classes knows how to register for their next course, that's going to be the best solution for this challenging situation.
Can they just sign off on an automatic petition that they can pick up in the math department?
Beth, I know your hand was up. Could you answer Tracy's question, and then if you had another comment on that?
Well, I don't know about having them pick something up during the pandemic. I don't know how that'll work, Tracy, but we could. But that was what my question was about. Kevin had put in the chat box something about a batch petition. So, Kevin, and if we need to talk about this outside of the curriculum meeting, that's fine. But I don't know what batch petition means. Does that mean that we could do them all at once? I'm not sure.
Yes, we've done similar things before.
So as I'm looking
You
at this, go ahead.
You could send them to the advisors and have them available for the advisors to provide once they verified that they met them.
Julianne, my suggestion is we get some language and either do a batch petition, meaning that it's, you know, already created and then we just sign off on it. That will expedite this so it doesn't take so long. We've also got the same language so there's no hiccups along the way that it's not written correctly. It would just make it much easier. So if the language is created and then put on a petition and you could just copy that petition and as has already been suggested, make them available with the advisors. That makes it a little bit easier process.
Thank you. And as I'm looking at this class, I would make sure that instructors of all of these courses, 110, the current courses that are going on for fall, 110, 111, 114, 085, 096, 103, that every one of those students who wants to move on in the spring knows the course that they need to be in and has one of those petitions.
Yes, thank you. This course isn't, I mean, definitely we need it changed, but this course isn't as much of a problem because the current prereq isn't a major
Which is here.
hindrance.
Yeah, which is here.
And students that have taken Math 111 can get into Math 131, and that's typically what happens.
Denise has mentioned it, the petition would also need to go to the Welcome Center and call center staff will provide registration assistance. Sue?
You know, I appreciate Beth and Christy being proactive in reaching out to the advisors, but you really need to follow the processes, because when you're going to the advisors about something that's not been approved in curriculum yet, you may have to undo that same language. If this was not approved, what you have already said to the advisors would not be correct. So, you know, I just caution when people don't follow the processes, and I understand that you were alerted and you're nervous about people not being placed appropriately, but it can also cause more problems when we're not following the processes and the timelines that are necessary.
Yes, I understand that. I guess we were acting on the, okay, I'll just say yes. Yes,
Thank you.
sorry about that.
Okay, any other comments or questions on on Bill Justice?
Yeah, the 131 spring rationale is good. The 131, is it summer or fall? The rhetoric needs to be removed from the rationale because it's nowhere in the existing prereq or new prereq, and the rationale that you explained needs to be added for the 110, 114, or 111 to 111 change.
Okay, so the rationale for this change still includes Rhetoric 101 and should be taken off. Because it's not in this. It's not in this area.
Yeah, and just stress the other prereq change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay,
we will try to change that.
I'm sorry, who is speaking?
I think Beth and I were speaking at the same time. We will change those rationales and get those over to Susie.
Okay. And Sue, did you have another comment?
Nope, just forgot to bring my hand down. Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay, so give you guys another 10 seconds and then we are going to vote. We're voting on item 20-434, the Math 131 revision, effective spring 2021, and item 20-435, Math 131 revision, effective summer 2021. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. Thank you. You guys could lower your hands. Is there any opposed? Okay, those two items have passed. Thank you. Beth and Christy, you do have one more. I am going to stop sharing my screen for a moment and go back to the files. You do have one more item, and I think we're just going to take care of that right now, which is item 20-436, a revision of Math 341. And I do not have any information in front of me to share with the group. So could you tell us, we'll have a motion. I think we already motioned to approve this. No, maybe we didn't. Let me motion to approve item 20-436, Math 341.
Second, Bill.
Did we have a first?
Oh, sorry.
Bill, you could be the first. Can I have
I'll
a
be the
second
first.
motion? Okay, can I have a second motion for item 20-436, Math 341?
Second, Glenn.
Okay, thank you. And Beth or Christy, could you explain this change of Math 341?
Basically, what we had to do was just to provide a syllabus with the course objectives on there. Beth, am I missing anything else?
We just aligned it with the language that was used on the IAI site. I don't know the proper language for that. And we aligned the courses so we had the same language so that it could get the IAI code. It's currently doesn't have the IAI code, and now it will be, and I don't know what the proper language for that is. But so that the students can transfer it to their four-year schools.
So Jennifer did have a question, and it brings up a good point. Is it unusual for community college to have a 300 level course? And I want to further that question. Do we have an IAI code for 300 level courses? I don't know if Beth or Christy could answer that, and maybe Kevin, I'm not sure.
What's the title of the course? I'm sorry, what's the title of the course? Anyone?
It's differential. It's differential equations.
Yes,
So I don't. Glenn might have more to say about this. I don't know if Glenn, if you have any insight on why it's a 341. I would not know why it was 341. That's just what it's always been. So I don't know. Glenn, do you have any insight on that?
It's been like that for over 20 years. So yeah, I don't know. I couldn't add anything different to that. But I believe it does have an IAI code.
Interesting. In all the community colleges I've taught it, I've never encountered anything above a 200 level course at a community college. And I've also taught at a community college that was permitted to offer baccalaureate degrees. And under those circumstances, they offered 300 and 400 level courses.
But how long has this course been at Triton? We're talking many years here.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Daniele has his hand up, please.
Yes, I'm not a member of this committee, nor I pretend to be an expert in course coding, but these course codes are just internal. As an instance, I could bring my PHL 113. It's a 100-level course here at Triton, but then we have an agreement with Loyola, and there it transfers as a 300-level course. So my proposal is pragmatic. If this is II coded, regardless of how it might look on transcripts, it might transfer credits anyways.
Well, yeah, I mean, it obviously it has been coded. I mean, this isn't IAI right now, is what you're saying? Or it is?
I'm sorry, I don't know what the proper language is. Susie, can you help me with the proper language? It's not listed. Our school is not listed.
No, it's not listed for, the Math 341 is not listed as an IAI Gen Ed currently.
Is your request to get it as an IAI Gen Ed?
That's why they're changing this now.
Okay.
To send it
so
in.
We're trying to get it. Okay. And so what you're saying is that the class, and I'm taking Glenn's word for it, this class has been at Triton for many years and no one's ever questioned why it's 300. So you're just going with that number 341 because that's what it's been.
Yeah,
Am I
we
correct?
didn't create that number. That's correct. That's what it's been since I've been
Yeah.
here.
I don't know who to ask, but I'm guessing that it doesn't have problems transferring, but that's just an assumption. I mean, how would we know?
I could tell you how the course transfers. I'll look it up real quick. Let's see.
And while she's doing that, does anyone have any other comments or questions about the class or the numbering? Because basically, we're not changing the number. It's already been this way, 341.
That is correct.
I'm also checking to see how old this course is. It's pretty old.
So we've had it a while.
Yes.
Well, I don't think we rush and change anything right now. I think, we leave it as is, and then perhaps if needed, Beth and Christy could just examine if there's any complications or problems of it remaining as 341. Michael?
I just want
It began here May 1st. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Susie. I'll go after
The
you.
course began May 1st, 1968. So it's pretty
Oh,
old.
okay.
Yeah, it's been a while. A
I
lot,
was born. I just want to tell you that.
Julianne, a lot of Scholars Program students take this course, and they don't
Okay.
have any problems transferring it. Now, I can tell you, similar to what Daniele said, the fact that it's 300 doesn't mean that we make it 300 doesn't mean they're going to get any bonus when they go to transfer it. They get the course, and frankly, they don't care if we put it as what number we give it. They just want the course. But I can tell you, a lot of my students take this course, and well, a good number anyway, and they haven't had any trouble with it. So whether or not it should stay in 300, I don't know, but it hasn't given us any problems so far, which is why it's gone on since 1968 without anybody saying anything.
Okay, thank you for that input. That clarifies a lot. All right, any other comments or questions? So we will have a vote on 20-436, Math 341 revision. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, you can lower your hands. Any opposed? We'll wait for them to lower it. Got to lower my hand. Denise and William, are you? Okay. So any opposed? All right, the item is passed. Thank you, Beth and Christy, for clarifying much of that information. That's it for the math right now. We are going on with the agenda for new business. Item 20 can I have a motion to approve item 20-380, ACC 251 revision, 20-381, ACC 252 revision, item 20-382, C206A, Accounting and Finance AAS, item 20-383, C501A, CPA Pathway Certificate, and item 20-384, U230A06, Accounting and Business Revision. Just a motion to approve those?
So moved, Michael.
Second?
Second.
Tracy, is that a second? Okay, thank you. Bill, could you explain this? You have, I believe, the ACC 251 and 252 increased credit hours from 3 to 4, and then you had to change the 3 associated degrees with that?
That's correct. The Intermediate Accounting 1, Intermediate Accounting 2, we're requesting those hours be from 3 credit hours to 4. 2 reasons, basically, because of the rigor of the program, the rigor of that class, and secondly, to match our peer institutions for what they have that more fully lines up to the requirements of that course. And obviously the C206A, C501A, and the U230 A06 reflect those changes to those 2 courses. And I want to thank Justina, who is in the room, who prepared the documents and teaches the course. So I want to give a thanks out to her for doing this paperwork to get us more in line with what I believe we should be with those two courses.
Thank you. Justina, are you here?
Yes, I am.
She's in the room with me.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, okay. She's in your room. I'm looking online. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Justina and Bill. So you see the 3 certificates on the top here, changing because of the 2 revisions of ACC 251. Any questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, you can lower your hands. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Those items have passed. Thank you, Justina and William. We're moving on to item, kind of a motion to approve item 20-385 and 20-386. The CHN 103 and CH1 104 deletions. Okay, have a motion to approve?
So moved, Michael.
Second?
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. Is Bill Decker here? Yes. So you're deleting these 2 courses. Could you just describe that briefly?
Yes. We don't want to delete these forever. We hopefully can bring them back, but we have never run them since they were first added to curriculum. We have never had more than 2 students ever sign up for Chinese 103. We've never had anyone register for 104. So there simply is no demand for that level of Chinese within our market. And 104 is the only course that can actually transfer as a foreign language course to a 4-year institution. It's the only IMI. Yes. They can transfer as Gen Ed, but not as a foreign language. 104 is the only one that's IAI.
Okay.
Same thing is true of Spanish and Italian and all the rest.
Okay. Any questions on the deletion of these 2 courses for Bill? All in favor, please raise your hand for item 20-385, 20-386, the deletion of CHN 103, 104. Okay, you can lower your hands. I know that Bill Griffin was having some issues. Okay, he is back in here with connection. Any opposed of these 2 items? Okay, thank you. They have passed. We're moving on to a motion to approve item 20-387, which is deleted course of History 210, U.S. Civil War and Reconstruction. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Michael.
Second?
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. Bill, we are deleting History 210?
Yes. We only have one person who ever taught it. That was Cliff Alcorn, who has not been here in at least a decade. He's the one who pushed this through curriculum. It has not been on the schedule since he left over 10 years ago, and don't have anyone who wants to teach it, and have yet to have any communication from a single student wondering why it's not on the schedule. So.
Okay. Any questions for Bill on this deletion of History 210? All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, you can lower your hands. Denise, did you have a question? Okay, any opposed? Any opposed to the deletion of 210? Okay, this item has passed. Thank you. We're staying with Bill Decker for a few more items here. We're going to have a motion to approve item 20-388, 20-389, 20-390, 20-391, which is the revision of Italian 101 and 102 and the deletion of Italian 103 and 104. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Michael.
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. And Bill, so we are, if you can see on my screen here, we're revising 101 and 102, and we're deleting Italian 103, 104.
Yes. We still teach 101 and 102, although not on campus for credit. It is done as dual credit, and we may be adding another high school that is thinking about 101 and 102 as dual credit. But again, we have not offered 103 or 104, almost since I've been here. So almost a decade and a half. And again, no demand for those classes has arisen in that time period. And again, 104 is the only one that can transfer to a four-year institution as a foreign language and not as just an elective.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the Italian courses? All in favor, please raise your hand. Susie, is that enough? You guys could lower your hands. Kevin did vote as well. You guys can lower your hands. Any opposed? Okay, those items have passed. Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve item 20-392 and 20-393, which is the deletion of Spanish 113 and Spanish 114? Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Michael.
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. Bill, you briefly explain these two?
Yes. Those are both courses. Maxi offered those up for deletion. Again, they have not been offered in at least a decade, if not longer than that. I certainly, since I've been here, I have yet to see them show up anywhere on the schedule. Now, that doesn't mean that Maxi may not decide to bring back in the future in some kind of revamped form, but for now, they're just taking up space.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay. You can lower your hands. Pam did vote. Can you lower your hands? Any opposed on the deletion of Spanish 113, 114? Thank you. And can I have a motion to approve 20-394 U224 AA degree, 20-395 U224 A16 Modern Language AA degree, 20-396 U224 A46 History AA degree, 20-397 U224G Gen Ed Core Curriculum, and 20-398 U230 A07 International Business AS degree. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Michael.
Second.
Second, Glenn.
Thank you. And these are the associated degrees with the deletions of, you can see they're here listed with the deletions of History 210, Chinese 103, 104, Spanish 113, 114, Italian 103, 104. So everything we just voted on to delete, these degrees needed to be revised to reflect those changes. Any questions for Bill? And those were the only changes made to these degrees. No questions? Can I have item 20-394 through 20-398? All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, you can lower your hands. Any opposed? Thank you. Those items have passed. Thank you, Bill, for the extensive submissions.
Sure, no problem.
We are moving on to, excuse me, did you have to say something, Bill?
Well, I just wanted to add, Leke brought up in the TRC, questioning why we're deleting so many language courses. Obviously, it's lack of demand. It's not because we want to. And he very rightly pointed out that these are important for diversity, and we would certainly agree with that. The question then becomes, we would love to offer languages. The question is, what do we offer? Because it's going to depend upon the market that's available, and we have to get enough students to sign up for them, because we can't just hire people and tell them maybe we'll run some courses. Let's cross our fingers and hope that enough students want to take Hindi or Greek or German or whatever. This is not something that's new. Again, when I first got here almost a decade and a half ago, the institution had just wrapped up bringing French to a close. So this is not unusual. Unfortunately, if anybody has any ideas of languages to offer that there's a demand for out there, please send that information my way.
Bill, we're still offering Italian, Spanish. We're offering the introductory Chinese classes.
Yes, and we're in the market for a new Chinese adjunct. So if anyone knows anyone who is qualified to teach Chinese and is looking for hours to use, we're more than happy to have them.
Okay. So we're doing Chinese, Italian, Spanish, anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Kevin?
I want to add to what Bill just stated. In fact, Bill and I and also the deans have multiple round conversations. In a day where higher ed focus on diversity, inclusiveness, and equity, we know that foreign languages courses are really, really relevant and particularly important. But we also need to keep our books clean. If we cannot offer those classes for a long time, our choices either to keep them active or deletion. There's no inactive in between when it comes to courses. So we actually took a very hard look and we make some very, very difficult decisions. And, Bill and I are on the same page. We do want to protect those courses because they mean something in today's high-end environment, but we are taking a more prudent and compromising approach by deleting the courses that we rarely offer.
Thank you. Bill Griffin, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I think, Bill Decker, you answered it. We have placed Spanish 101 elementary Spanish or 101 elementary Chinese into a couple of our certificates, or specifically one, the executive administrative certificate. So those are not affected at all. I think you answered that, but I'm just double checking.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Right. Thank you. So it is good that we still have those courses that are still on the books for Chinese, Italian, and Spanish. And then perhaps in the future, if the demand does increase, we could look at this again. But I'm happy that we still have those courses at the introductory levels. Okay, thank you, Bill.
Sure.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve 20-399, CWE 290 revision, 20-400, CWE 291 deletion, and 20-401, C243A, CJA degree revision? Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Glenn?
Thank you. The CWE 290 is co-op work experience. It was revised to a variable credit, 1 to 3 credit hours. And the CWE 291 co-op work experience is being deleted, which was up here. CWE 291 is being deleted. The 290 is being revised to increase to to be variable credit. And then the degree that impacted had to be revised, which is the CJA degree, due to the deletion of CWE 291. I'm not sure if there's anyone here to present this course.
Julianne, I was the one that assisted with this per Paul Jensen, so I could potentially answer or get an answer if needed.
Okay. Does anyone have questions on these? Their co-op work experience. Now, Susie has, done a review of the curriculum, and I'm assuming the only curriculum that CWE 291 was in was the CJA degree. Off the top of my head, I do not know what CWE 290 co-op work experience is in. Is that in multiple curriculum?
That's the only program that was listed on the catalog pages.
Well, for CWE 290, the one that we're revising, is it only in CJA or is it in other curriculums, the one we're revising?
I don't see it in any other program.
Really? Okay. And that was one, I don't remember the number, but it was one solid credit number, and now it's going to be variable.
I believe it was 2 credit hours previously.
Okay. Does anyone have questions on this? When these other curriculum have co-op, what course are they putting their students in? Is it, I don't know, Susie, if you can answer this or the deans could answer this.
This course is used for anyone. You know, it actually technically in the system is an arts and sciences course, but it is, as I understand it, designed for any student to use if they have a work experience and want credit.
The CWE 290.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Other programs previously were developing their own co-op courses to use with their own prereqs, their own prefix. So if you notice, some other areas have a co-op program under their own prefix.
Okay. And is that working out good for people? I don't know who has that, but that's working out good if the deans know that that's fine and they don't need this particular course?
For the reason that the 1 is being deleted is because 290, in addition to being variable credit, is also proposed to be repeatable. So they could take it multiple times and there would not be a need for 2 separate courses.
Okay. Any other questions on this? Okay. So for items 20-399 through 20-401, all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, you can lower your hand. Any opposed? Thank you. Can I have a motion to approve item 20-402, ENG 299 Scholar Seminar, and item 20-403, U224 A21 English and Rhetoric AA degree? Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Glenn.
Second?
Second, Tracy.
Thank you. Michael, you're changing you're changing the prefix, am I correct?
Right. We did this with our IAI courses already. They're all LIT. And I decided, even this one is not II, it is ICCB, but it's not IAI. It's not intended to be. Decided to go ahead and match it with the other one. Also, while I was there, I just tweaked the title to make it more descriptive, more exact of what it is, what's meant by a scholar seminar. So the title is slightly changed.
Right. Scholar Seminar, Liberal Arts through the Literature, 1 credit hour.
Right. Before it was just Scholar Seminar. I decided to add the subtitle to I think it'll be better on their transcripts, given the students that are taking that. Even if their school doesn't take the credit, I think it still will be good to have that on there.
Okay. And I do have this listed as a major program revision. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. 21 U224A21. This is an English and Rhetoric AA degree. Did you did update it with the new curriculum mapping?
I did.
Okay. I just want to make sure that
Yes.
we're aware of that change as well, and that's why I have it as a major program revision. The new curriculum mapping was in there.
Right. Two different things, but yes, it's the mapping we did for the pathways that I worked on with Sheldon and Nellie and a couple other people.
Okay. Now I did review the you'll see that there's going to be 4 curriculum mappings coming through this month. I did review that, and when I'm reviewing that, I'm counting, making sure that there's enough gen eds to fulfill that, as well as the credit hours of electives to accumulate to the 60 credit hours that are needed. So that's how I'm going through reviewing them, and I find that the middle column of the new curriculum mapping, which lists what type of gen ed it is very helpful. And I'll show you you guys a chart in a little bit that I'm using to make sure that it has all the gen ed requirements and the electives. So this is, I believe, in my opinion, this one is good to go. Any questions on the ENG 299 changing to LIT 299 with the title change, or the English and Rhetoric AA degree new curriculum mapping? Any questions? Tracy.
Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself.
Oh, you don't have a question? Okay.
No.
So we'll go with the vote then. All in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you. You can lower your hands. Okay. Any opposed? All right, and those 2 items have passed. Thank you, Michael.
Sure.
Okay, we have a lot of science revisions. You will see them here. I just would like a motion to approve item 20-404 through 20-413, and they are all revisions. We're going to be discussing the revision of BIS 205, Field Ecology, Chemistry 132, Elementary Organic Chemistry, Chemistry 140, General Chemistry 1, Chemistry 141, General Chemistry 2, Chemistry 234, Organic Chemistry 1, Chemistry 235, Organic Chemistry 2, PHY 101, General Physics, Mechanics, Heat and Sound, PHY 102, General Physics, Electric Magnet Optics, PHY 106, General Physics Mechanics, and PHY 251, Engineering Mechanics of Materials. So just a motion to approve item 20-404 through 20-413. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
So moved. Second, Tracy.
Thank you, and I believe Gabe is here. These are revisions to remove, revisions.
These are I'm sorry, good afternoon. It was suggested that these courses should change the prerequisite that they might have for Rhetoric 101, so we removed that. The language note just reflects what other peer institutions are requesting, which is basically placement at that level, but students are not required to have taken that class before registering to these courses, all of them.
So we're keeping the placement into Rhetoric 101. You changed the language of how it's read.
Yeah, the language actually now is not compatible, but it's comparable to what other colleges have. So I presented 4 different examples of that.
Okay, thank you. And that's the case. No other changes on any of these science courses other than that?
No, I did corrected some of the counting of hours for lab and lecturing in a couple of the courses. So now they are the square the way they should be.
Okay, and I think let me scroll ahead for 1 second. I do believe that that a lot of these were on this list of to go over the prereq for 101, but I'm sorry, one slide back. A couple of them were on this list, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong.
You're talking about BIS 200?
No, never mind.
Okay.
I'm wrong. So we're just going over the language of the prereq to keep the rhetoric 101, and you provided the examples. So any questions on this for him?
It's not to keep the prerequisite, right? Because we're not requesting that students take that class prior to enrolling.
Right.
It's just to meet the placement requirements. Only because
Yes.
all of those classes are reading and writing intensive.
Yes. Any further questions for Gabe? All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, you can lower your hands. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Those items have passed. Thank you, Gabe.
Thank you.
Okay, we're having a motion to approve item 20-414 through 20-423. These are revisions of CIS. There will be revision of CIS 179, 212, 222, 228, 240, 250, 263, 264, 275, and 280. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second, Tracy.
Thank you. I'm not sure if Michael is here.
It didn't look like he was, but these changes were still in to get the gen eds, that kind of change. It wasn't substantial.
Right. This was the one I was kind of jumping ahead of myself when I was going through my slides, but this is the group of classes that needed to be updated to the new college gen eds. And so this is a batch of 10 of them. Any questions on these? He has a few more to go, and I'll show you that on the slide as we move forward, but this is 10 to update to gen eds. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, you can lower your hand. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Those 10 items for CIS revisions have passed. Next, we have music. Can I have a motion to approve item 20-424 through 20-429? We're going to be deleting music 202, 212, 213, 247, 249, and revising the curriculum of U224A51, which is the music AA degree, to reflect those deletions. So you can see there are, well, let's do the motion to approve first.
So moved.
Second?
Tracy, I'll second.
Thank you. So we're deleting 5 music courses and then revising the degree. Now, where do I have it? Revising the degree that these courses are in. And am I correct? I don't remember. There's new curriculum mapping going with this music AA degree. Salvatore?
Those courses haven't been offered in several years, and they were never part of, well, at least for, since I've been here. The AA and music tech, they are not part of it, so I'm not sure if they were ever part of it. The revised AA just adds class piano to second semester. Other than that, I think there was just a little shuffling of some of the gen ed requirements done by Sheldon just to reflect guided pathways.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Any further questions for him on the revision of the curriculum to the new guided pathway format, or these 5 deleted courses? Any questions? All in favor, please raise your hand. You can lower your hands. Any opposed? Any opposed? Thank you, Salvatore.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to approve 20-430 PHL 104 Social and Political Philosophy Revision?
So moved.
Second?
Second, Tracy.
Glenn.
Thank you. And Eugene has revised this course, PHL 104, I believe, to update to the new Gen Eds. But I could be wrong.
Yes, Julian, it's not, but I can
It's
give
not.
some
What is the
background if
revision?
you'd like.
Daniele, what was the revision?
So about a year and a half ago, we submitted this course to IAI, and then at the beginning of the semester, IAI sent it back saying that it needed revisions. Needed revisions
Okay.
in 3 areas. They said that it had the wrong IAI code. They said that they wanted a more detailed weekly outline, and they said that they wanted a more detailed writing requirement. With regards to the IAI code, there must have been a clerical error because the IAI code has always been H4907, and that stays, and that's the correct IAI code. We did change the course description to match the current IAI descriptor more closely. And then this may not be visible in the course outline that the committee has, but Eugene submitted a new syllabus, and the new syllabus has a detailed weekly outline that doesn't reference just page numbers or chapters in a textbook, but topics. And then he has defined the writing requirement and specified what's expected in his course. And that's the revision.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, you can lower your hands. Any opposed? Thank you, that item has passed. Thank you, Daniele.
Thank you.
More to go, guys. Can I have a motion to approve 20-431 U224A43 Criminal Justice AA degree?
So moved.
Second?
Second, Tracy.
Thank you. Is someone here to present this?
I don't see Greg here, and I'm not remembering if this is just the new map.
It is for the AA degree. So, Kevin, do you know if this is for the new map?
Yes,
I
it
have
is.
it down. Let me check my notes. I do have it down for that.
Are we talking about CJA or something else?
CJA AA degree.
It's a new curriculum mapping.
The new curriculum mapping.
Yeah, that belongs to Dean Davidson.
Oh, does it? Okay. Because of the AA, I think I thought it was under arts and science, but. So Jennifer, we're just updating to the new guided pathway mapping?
I believe so, because I was not aware of any changes being made, so as far as content wise.
Okay. All right, and we, the three of us, Susie, Sue, and I did review this in, I believe, agenda planning, or at least Susie and I did for sure. So is there any questions on this? All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. Can you lower your hands? Any opposed? Denise? Any opposed? Okay, thank you. That has passed. Last item. Can I have a motion to approve 20-432 U230A30 pre-professional nutrition AS degree? Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Tracy, second.
Thank you. So I actually revised this one to reflect the new guided pathways curriculum mapping The degree is actually out of the science department in their pre-professional program. However, I typically am the one reviewing this degree as I teach nutrition and I follow the requirements to transfer, as well as a lot of the students in my class want to be nutritionists. So that's where I'm involved, but I changed it to the guided pathways. Is there any questions for me? Could I have a motion to approve item 20-432, the revision of the pre-nutrition AS degree?
You can, but I think we already did that part, Julianne.
I'm sorry, all in favor? I'm getting tired here, I think. All in favor? All right, and you can lower your hands. Any, I'm going to lower Sue's hand. Thank you, Sue. Any opposed? All right, and that item has passed. We do have a couple other items. Give me. All right, we do have a couple items. Sorry, couple other items, not many. This should go briefly. Outstanding courses that have not gone through curriculum. This is our first other item. We're making a lot of progress. We are at 74 courses now. Anything in blue, you can see went to this December's meeting. There was 10 CIS courses, so I lowered that from 36 to 26. There were 5 music courses, so we lowered this number as well. And those are the outstanding courses that still need to go through curriculum so that everyone is aware of that. These are the courses that don't have the updated gen eds since we changed them. I don't know, it was about a year ago we changed them.
Juliana, you can put to be deleted on 265 for us as well.
Oh, 265 as well.
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
Part of the medical administrative certificate that we're removing from our program offerings. So that's going to come off, not be offered again. We'll get everything cleaned up in the spring, but it's part of that, the deletion of the certificate that we're doing.
Okay, thank you. So actually, if I take these two numbers off, then these two courses off, then this number would be down to 72. I don't think I counted this one yet because I think it hasn't been submitted yet. But if we delete these two, that number will go down as well.
Yeah, they will not be offered again.
Okay. All right. Any other concerns about these outstanding courses? Kevin?
Yes, I want to confirm that these courses, because they still have not been updated, they're not to be offered in spring. Am I correct?
That is my understanding. Sue, any input on that?
Agreed, yes.
Okay. All right, next other item, prerequisites with reading and writing, that Rhetoric 101 placement. As you can see, almost everything is red right now. So all these courses have come through curriculum this semester and either provided the rationale to keep the Rhetoric 101 placement prerequisite or actually removed the reading and writing placement prerequisite. Gabe is not here right now. He actually had this BIS 200 on the agenda, but then he had to pull it at the last minute. I think he needed a few more revisions to go on that one, but that's the only outstanding one. He's not here, so I don't know any further details on that. I know it was originally supposed to be on this agenda, but then he pulled it for further work. So my assumption is it will come to the February meeting. Excuse me. Kevin.
That is correct, because there's no plan to offer this course in spring, and he wanted more time to do a good job.
Great. That clarifies things then. Thank you. So that's it on that. We got that accomplished as a committee, as a group. Thank you very much. Couple more housekeeping things here. I want to make sure that all the faculty know this. So if you are talking to any faculty or chairs, if the deans also could be cognizant of this, making sure that all the curriculum is submitted to the College Curriculum Committee office by the deadlines that are on dates and deadline form. We do have the dates and deadline form. Right now, the fall one is still posted. Susie's finishing up the spring one, but that will be posted soon in the portal, as well as the Blackboard curriculum shell. On the portal, you would just go under curriculum committee, and then we have our dates and deadlines posted there, or you can access it on the curriculum Blackboard page. And January 11th is the deadline for the first spring curriculum meeting. So I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that in case you do have some people that would like to work on things for that meeting or work over their break. I thought I had one more slide. I can show this with you. This is what I was using. The degree requirements, on the top you can see AAAS, AAS, AGS, and GECC. But when I was reviewing the curriculum maps, I wanted to make sure that we were compliant with all the gen eds and the elective hours. So I formulated this chart for myself, and when you look over the guided pathways, the new curriculum mapping, it actually is pretty easy to see what category the course fits in. On the left side, I wish I could pull up an example quickly. On the left side of the page for the guided pathways, what you'll see is the name of the course, and then in the middle where, I'm going to pull one up, where the course fits into the category of gen eds. So I'll share my screen real quickly with you guys. So I made this chart to help me so I don't miss something, whether it's AA or AS, because there are different requirements for an AA degree and an AS degree. So I pulled up my nutrition one just for an example here. On the left side is the name of the course, then the category of gen ed or elective is in the middle. So I could scroll down and count, do we have our 3 communications? Do we have our 2 humanity fine arts, 2 social behavioral, and so forth? So I thought it was going to be really hard to review these, but because this is in the middle of which category it was actually, as a committee member, it was actually pretty easy to make sure we are compliant with gen eds. So I made that quick chart for myself in an Excel spreadsheet. If I could post that in the curriculum shell if anyone wants to use that, just so you guys are aware in the committee when you're reviewing, or people in the TRC might need this as well, when you're reviewing the maps, the guided pathway maps, there are differences between the AA and the AS, and we want to make sure that we're compliant. So the major differences are the AA degree has 3 social behavioral humanity fine art, the AS only has 2, and there's differences in math and science. The AA degree has 1 math, the AS has 2. The science requirements for AA, 2 science degree, 2 science classes, 3 science classes in the AS. So if you would like to use this, I will post it in the curriculum shell. I'll actually email the TRC to make sure they see that as well, because I am expecting in spring we will be reviewing many of those guided pathway formats, and I want to make sure, take the time to look through this, because if 10 people don't catch it but the 11th person does, it's important that we know and spot any errors prior to coming to our meeting. So you can use this as a guide. There's other ways you can use it as a guide. I'm sorry, in the catalog there's other ways of making sure the requirements are met. All right. And that is it, I believe, for the meeting. Does anyone have any comments or questions? All right. Thank you guys for attending, and I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 4:08 for the December 3rd, 2020 curriculum meeting. Can I have a motion to approve?
Second.
First and second. Thank you very much. Thanks, Sue.
Julianne, who seconded that?
I believe I was the one to motion and Michael seconded it.
You motion, okay.